All right, we're live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today I'm going to give you a lot of big updates on blockchain, what's going on in this space. I'm going to show you some ways to earn passive income with Ethereum. This is a brand new way that's never been available before. We're talking about Bitcoin hitting a brand new all-time high, hanging out above $50,000. This is huge. More people who are buying Bitcoin, corporate adoption. We're going to talk about that. And then also NFTs are still making a huge splash on the scene. So there's lots to cover today. If you're new around here, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to become a blockchain master step by step from start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. All right, so we got people rolling in the chat here. We got Patrick, JH, Aaron, Bob, Board, Clairvoyance, JD, Curte, Doug. Awesome. So let's go ahead and jump into this first item here, which is earning passive income with Ethereum. So Coinbase has announced ETH staking for Ethereum 2.0. So this is huge. Now, I know a lot of people out there will say, oh, that's just centralized, right? That's not DeFi. That's not, that's not self-custodial, not your keys, not your crypto. That's true. But this is still a big deal for lots of reasons. Number one, you don't have to have 32 ETH in order to stake. Number two, you don't have to, there's always going to be trade-offs with self-custody, and there's going to be a certain type of profile for people who want to control their funds and some people who just want to, let somebody else take care of it, okay? So let's talk about this. So, Ethereum 2.0, if you want to earn passive income with Ethereum right now and you want to do it in a decentralized way, there's only a few different ways to do it. One is basically to stake on Ethereum 2.0 right now. So that means you have to take your Ether, convert it to ETH 2.0 with a deposit contract, and you can't get it back until we get out of this phase, okay? And you also have to have 32 Ether in order to do it. And now a lot of people are just going to say, hey, that's just not right for me. Some people said that's exactly what I want to do. That's fine. People who believe in the network for long term, where 32 Ether is an amount of money that they can part with and not worry about. Some people will even say, hey, the 10% on ETH 2.0, that's peanuts. I can get that in DeFi somewhere else. But there's a huge trade-off with the risk, right? Like smart contract risk, all that kind of stuff. So here's a brand new category where you don't have to have 32 Ether. You don't have to custody it yourself, and you can still earn 7.5% APR. People want to hold Ether over the long term. Yes, it is a centralized service. There's trade-offs, all this kind of stuff. But this is going to be appealing for a lot of people. People want to hold Ether. It incentivizes them to hold it. They can earn passive income on it if it goes up. They don't want to pay the taxes on they don't want to incur a taxable event by selling their Ether. They just want to earn passive income on it. This is a viable way to do it. So this is huge. All right, we got some people coming on here. We got more chat. Awesome. So let's look what's going on with the let's see what's going on with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's leading the show right now. Pull up the charts. So Bitcoin has it's at $51,111.63. So we have definitely broken $50,000. I hope that we'll see it establish itself up here and hang out above 50,000. It'll be interesting to see what's going to go on. Let's look at the Nupal chart, kind of see where we are with that territory. We're not as high as we were at the beginning of January, but we're getting close, right? We're getting close to that line where we might start to see a little bit of blue, a little bit of euphoria happen. We haven't done it yet. Of course, when we got up to here back in January, let's just see what happened. Yeah, that's before things kind of cooled off a little bit. So it wouldn't surprise me if we go up kind of faster from here. We could see some sort of correction. Again, I'm not a big trader, not a big TA guy, not a big price oracle or anything like that. I'm just looking at the stuff that I'm personally invested in. I own Bitcoin, I own Ether, a lot more Ether than Bitcoin, and a few DeFi blue chips. But yeah, just mostly looking at things. How do I feel about the situation? And it wouldn't surprise me if we saw some sort of correction kind of soon, especially if we go up faster from here. That being said, we do see news about MicroStrategy planning to raise an additional 690 million to buy a Bitcoin. So we don't know if that means that they're wanting to buy right now. They want to, buy at a lower price. Why is this a big deal? Well, MicroStrategy has been one of the leaders in institutional adoption of Bitcoin on corporate balance sheets. So Michael Saylor, he was the one who really came out and started talking about this last summer. He's the one who's been having, the conferences that we saw this past week, or maybe past few weeks. Has been, one of the leading figures in this institutional adoption. So the whole point I'm trying to make here is that they are planning to get 690 million to buy more. So I don't know if that's at the current price, if they see some sort of correction soon, but they seem to be perma bulls. So let's see what's going on with Ether as well. So Ether, let's see, what is our all-time high on Ether right now? So 18.67 is 18.6. So we didn't quite make there. So we're getting close. We're getting close to touching our previous all-time high. Yeah, looks like that was only a week ago. Then we had this really fast dip I think it was over the weekend. Let's see, that was on, it was on Sunday. It was really fast dip over the weekend. People kind of freaked out, but it got absolutely gobbled up, right? Absolutely gobbled up. So let's see here. We can also look at some more metrics on Ether. Let me pull these up on Glassnode here. So about Doge. Yeah, I haven't been keeping an eye on Doge. It's yeah, I don't hold any Doge. I think it's okay if people want to, have some fun with Doge, but yeah, I always recommend Doge being a fun type of thing. Not necessarily you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with Doge. Even if that's the thing people don't really understand when they're investing in cryptocurrencies is like the integrity of the blockchain itself that you're like putting money onto. I wouldn't personally secure any sizable amount of money on Doge because you just don't know what the security is like. That's one of the reasons I'm willing to hold money on the Bitcoin and Ethereum blockchains and also hold tokens that are built on top of Ethereum is that I have a high degree of confidence in the underlying integrity of those particular blockchains. I do not have a high degree of confidence in the underlying integrity of Doge, to put it that way. I'm not saying it's going to get like 51% attacked or anything like that tomorrow, but I'm not putting any sizable money on it. Okay, so the thing with ETH, the one I look at is ETH on exchanges. All right, so this has definitely been dwindling down. We've been talking about this metric some on the channel. It's hard to say how valuable this metric is because DEX trading is going up like crazy. Okay. We could look at some other metrics. Maybe I'll pull some of those up on a future live stream where we try to look at Ethereum being traded on DEXs and what that activity looks like. If there's a useful metric in there that we can use to sort of balance some of this, because if we saw ETH balance on exchanges going up like crazy, like close to a new high price level, like that would maybe be something to worry about. But it's hard to read a ton into this going down like crazy because of DEX activity. So we'll see. I am not a dev. I am just pumping my own bags. This is so funny. I talked about this in the video the other day. So I'll put it this way. What's my YouTube channel at right now? 120,000 subscribers. So Ethereum has like a $200 billion market cap. Okay. There is no way on the face of the planet that I have enough clout or reach to pump a $200 billion asset. That's ridiculous. Okay, so let's see here. So using flash loans and creating smart contract between two DeFi like Uniswap and Sushi, is it worth it? Or are there risks? So it depends on how competitive you want to be. There's definitely upside in it. The good news is there's no downside risking losing the money that you borrow. There, of course, is risk in losing the gas fees if you don't make the transactions. But yeah, there's definitely an opportunity there. Okay. So let's see here. Let's move on to the NFTs, okay? So NFTs are continuing to make a splash. I've been talking about these on the channel a lot. You know, we've got you know, the hash masks are still making a splash. We've got Ether cards. We've got a bunch of other NFTs coming on the scene that are providing new generations for people to snatch up while they're still early. With you know, people, that's one of the big values of the NFTs is finding the new generation that has a long-term high upside potential to become, you know, a valuable collectible over time. Okay. So we have more of those coming onto the scene, and we also have news of NFT. We're seeing news of NFT adoption outside just the crypto bubble. Okay. So we've seen Mark Cuban in NFTs. We've talked about that on this channel, on the streams. We've talked about, you know, Gary Vee talking about NFTs, Chamath, lots of different people. Now we're also seeing NFT, the first NFT going to auction at Christie's, which is pretty cool. So British auction house Christie's is hosting a sale from February 25th to March 11th, during which they will sell popular artwork from digital artworks to people. So I hadn't particularly heard of this before I got news of this, so I'm kind of learning about this as we go. But apparently people's been creating a new artwork every single day since May 2007, creating 5,000 new pieces since then. According to the announcement, the collection of art titled Every Days, the first 5,000 days is being called one of the most unique bodies of work to emerge in the history of digital art. So this is pretty cool. So part of this is selling an NFT at Christie's. And I don't know if this, like I said, this is news to me. I had not heard of this particular artist or this particular body of work before I learned about this. The big picture here is blockchain making its way outside of the crypto bubble, people making a bet on digital art that it's viable, that people will want it. I don't know if they plan to tokenize like the entire collection of art here, if it's just one piece out of this collection. That could be a cool concept though. Like if an artist were to create, you know, an entire collection of work that was tokenized, but that's part of what makes NFTs and collectibles rare is the scarcity of the actual collection in addition to the individual items inside the collection. So that may not be the strategy of this particular artist, but I can see that being something, you know, coming down the road for sure. So we got some more questions in the chat here. Which chart am I looking at on Glassnode with the colors? So that's the Newpool chart. So it's the net unrealized profit loss. So the big picture on the Newpool chart is looking at basically the colors. So let me just pull up the right one here. So essentially, it kind of gives you a temperature of the market based on how many wallets are in profit. So when a large enough percentage of the entire network's in profit, it can potentially indicate a euphoric phase. And history has shown that corrections happen at that level. So this is what I was talking about. Basically, you see these areas of blue. Blue indicates a level of euphoria. We're in green. we got kind of close to that line in January. We're getting kind of close again, but we're kind of flattening out. We'll see what happens. It's not a guaranteed indicator, but that's what I take a look at. What's my opinion on synthetics? So I do hold synthetics, full disclosure. It's an amazing project. They are innovating on layer 2 scaling solutions. So anybody who complains about the gas fees on Ethereum, that's a strategy for helping out some of those problems in the short to midterm. So basically creating a new layer on top of Ethereum where a lot of the activity can take place cheaper and faster. So Synthetics has been innovating on that for staking with optimistic rollups. Yeah, it's an amazing project. I mean, they kicked off a lot of the DeFi innovation that started happening in 2019, and that really lit a fire into 2020, and arguably responsible for a lot of the excitement that's going on in DeFi right now. So Synthetics is awesome. Anybody doesn't know what Synthetics is? It's a liquidity protocol for derivatives trading on Ethereum. ETH2 when? Yeah, we don't know. So we can speculate about when ETH2 will be here. We don't get official announcements until really close to when big changes are going to happen. Sometimes we get leaks about certain timelines, but then we never get the official statements because those keep getting pushed back. If anybody's watching and has ever been a part of really complex software projects before, you know they're notoriously hard to estimate, notoriously hard to deliver on timelines. And whenever you set a timeline, you basically have a massively padded estimate of when you know for 100% sure you can deliver. So whenever you hear a deadline or delivery time, it's usually like it can be done in half that amount of time, realistically. But you commit to twice. You commit to 50% to leave yourself plenty of margin. So any release news on EIP 1559? So I have no new news on EIP 1559 release. If I see anything, they'll be the first to know. Didn't get liquidated on Ethereum yesterday. That's good. Only a fool would program on a platform that has $100 plus fees to call a function. Do you know why the fees are high? Because there are lots of people who want to call that function. So what are my thoughts on Link? So I'll tell you a lot about the technology. I think Chainlink is awesome. I don't have any, price predictions on the Chainlink project itself. So basically, Chainlink, for anybody who isn't watching, and doesn't really understand. I mean, let's just say you want to buy the cryptocurrency itself and want to know what it does. That's going to be some people. Basically, Chainlink is an Oracle service, as a decentralized Oracle service. So the reason we need a project like Chainlink is smart contracts on the blockchain don't really know about any information outside of the blockchain itself. So let's say you have a smart contract that powers an exchange, for example. It's not a perfect example, but we'll just use it. And let's say you want to know what the Ethereum price is, or the Ether price. The blockchain knows about Ether. It knows how much Ether I have in my wallet, how much Ether you have in your wallet. It facilitates the transaction when I want to send you Ether or when I want to trade it on the DEX platform itself, okay? But it doesn't actually know what the price is because the price comes from the market, what other people are willing to pay for Ether. The market sets the price, okay? So you have to pull that information from somewhere else outside the blockchain, from a price aggregator, basically. From this exchange, that exchange, maybe you average it together, maybe you take a median or a mean, whatever, right? How do you get that information to a smart contract? Well, that's what an oracle is for. So an oracle is a source of truth that brings outside data onto the blockchain. But there's a problem with oracles. You have to trust them. What if you used yourself as an oracle to provide data to a smart contract and you just said, the price of Ether is $1,800, when maybe the price of Ether is actually $1,700 or $2,000? There's a trust issue there. So that's where Chainlink comes into play. It's a decentralized oracle network that gets prices from different nodes, a lot like a blockchain, but kind of in reverse, pulls that data onto the blockchain in a more decentralized way than if I were just to give you the information. And it gives that data to smart contracts. So cryptocurrency prices are probably the most common use case for Chainlink. There's lots of other use cases out there, but that's basically what it does, how it works. It powers a lot of the DeFi protocols out there. That's why a lot of people are so bullish on Chainlink, is because it's infrastructure. It runs a lot of DeFi. So I hope that helps. No price predictions, but that's how it works. Some more information on 1inch, as someone mentioned in the comments. So I talked about 1inch yesterday with their airdrop. So they did have an airdrop, I think in December. Had an opportunity to earn free 1inch tokens if you had traded on it, met some certain set of criteria. They came out with a new airdrop that I talked about yesterday for people who, I believe had not used 1inch, had used Uniswap, had made a certain amount of trades on Uniswap in order to incentivize them to move over to 1inch, to claim the tokens and I think also stake them. So if you meet those criteria, you might be eligible for free cryptocurrency. Just go to 1inch Exchange's website and try to look at the top right-hand corner. You'll see like the horse with the colors, and it should have a number in there. So what do I hold? So I hold mostly Ether. I hold Bitcoin, and I hold really only just like two of the DeFi projects, Aave and Synthetics. Sometimes I get like little coins here and there. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of speculation just for fun, but those are what I actually buy and actually hold for a long term. So somebody says, the question I've been asking and I can't seem to get an answer to, is it beneficial or determinant price to users trying to use Ethereum on daily activities? So I'm not sure if he's talking about the fees or actually the price of Ether itself. So there is a thesis out there that the cryptocurrency prices of like Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example, there's a thesis that the value of those currencies is actually correlated to the number of active addresses on the networks, okay? So I did a video about this on my channel. So talking about a massive Ethereum price prediction of like $20,000. That's the thesis put up by Raoul Paul. of Real Vision, a former Goldman Sachs executive. I've been following Rel for a while. He was pretty, you know, he was very right on a lot of things last year when cryptocurrency was kind of making its reversal, kind of tracking the changes with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Anyways, his thesis is basically that Metcalfe's law applies to the number of active addresses, and also the price of the cryptocurrency itself is a big correlation there. So it's plausible. I analyzed in that video, but the long and short of it is that, you know, Metcalfe's law basically says that the value of a network is has an exponential relationship between the number of people who use a network and then the value of the network itself. So I'll just look it up. So basically, you see this here, like a telecommunications network. One connection is, you know, there's 2 people that can talk to one another. 5 connections, there's 25 people, there's 25 connections, you know, 10 people. So this is exponential, right? The more connections, the more value. So I know it seems like a kind of a crazy leap in logic to say that then applies to the cryptocurrency price. But if you look at the data shows that correlation. So like you plot out the number of active addresses past, I think it's like 10,000 accounts, past some certain threshold, then the price looks like a exponential correlation. Okay. And if you lay the Bitcoin price over the Ether price, go check out that video. Do it. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. If you lay the Bitcoin price over the Ethereum price at their same point in time to which they crossed, I think it's either 1,000 or 10,000 active addresses. I can't remember. They track eerily similarly. So that's what the data looks like. It's a thesis. We'll see. Great live video. I want to learn everything and become a blockchain engineer. You should, if you want to, and you think that that's what you want to do as a career, then I highly recommend it. It's one of the most exciting fields in tech right now. It's one of the highest paying fields in tech. Tons of opportunity, brand new. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and answer. I'll answer one more. So it says EIP 1559, maybe March. I hope so. That seems it might be a little fast, but that would be nice. I think it'll happen this year though. Somebody says, as a developer, where's the best opportunity us right now to get started developing virtual estate like Decentraland or programming NFTs? So it depends on what you want to do. If you want to program your own project, I think the cool thing about NFTs is that there's less regulatory like risk around it, right? You're not talking about like creating currencies and putting them out there and having to deal with like the SEC, potentially. Again, not legal advice. Always check with a lawyer before you decide to do anything crazy like that. But NFTs are way more innocuous, right? Or way less risky in that way. So that's one big benefit. Now that being said, the challenge of creating an NFT is creating one that has value for other people, to have some sort of qualities, some sort of characteristics that the market desires. But I know some people are like digital artists and want to create digital versions of their own artwork. That's really cool. Somebody says I'm working on coding my digital collectible for the blockchain. Yeah, awesome. So that's on the graph. So I did a video on the graph a while back on the technology itself and how to use it, what I think about it. So go check that out. I believe it's got the graph in the video title, so you can just go to my YouTube homepage and search the graph, and it should come up. All right, everybody, so that's all I got for today. As always, hope you like this video. Smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm if you haven't already. It really helps these videos out so that more people can, learn about blockchain, subscribe to the channel. If you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, you want to get started today, then how can you become a blockchain developer? Well, you can head over to my YouTube homepage. You can find any of my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. You like those? You want to take the next step? Or hey, maybe you want to take a master's quit entirely? I can show you how to become a blockchain master step by step from start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right, you don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real world blockchain developers in a matter of months. All right, so that's all I've got. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.